Welcome to the archives. Enjoy your stay. Today, I present you some Reddit stories. This happened to me only a couple of days ago. I live in an apartment complex next to a golf course in northeast Arizona. Now, I'd just gotten out of the hospital for a medical condition that left me bedridden for a couple of days. Now, when you're in a hospital, you meet all sorts of people. Well, I found a particular person to stick out more than the rest. It was a man, about 5'9". He was in the waiting room when I was first admitted. He had long torn-up pants and a black hoodie with what looked like bloodstains on the wrists. He had his hood up, and he was looking down, so I couldn't see his face. What struck me the most about him was his hands. They were long, bony hands, covered in dirt with jagged fingernails that looked like he had been digging for a while. Now, the rest of my memory about the hospital is a blur because of the medication they gave me, but when I was being discharged, I could have sworn that I saw the same man just sitting there outside of the hospital. My doctor advised me to rest for the next day to let my body heal, and now I know I should have listened to him. After my parents had taken me back to my apartment, I slept for the rest of the day, but then could not fall asleep later that night. Now, I live alone, so there's no one to spot me from doing anything. So I decided to go out for a walk. I live in a generally safe neighborhood, so I left my phone in the apartment. The sun went down and the lamps started coming on. As I was walking back to my apartment, I noticed someone digging in the sand trap next to the trail. So I shouted at him, "Hey, you know you're not supposed to do that, right?" He looked up, and my blood ran cold. It was the man that I saw from the hospital. He had big, beady eyes and the biggest grin that I had ever seen. I booked it back to my place all the while. He's chasing right behind, screaming something about God and the devil. I run up the stairs to my apartment and lock the 2 deadbolts that are on it. I back away, and seconds later, I hear him hit the door full force. From that point on, I hear him clawing at my door. "Don't you want to meet God? Only I can take you to him." This guy is insane. The scratching lasts for several minutes before it stopped. I take the opportunity to go to my room and grab my handgun. Next thing I know, I hear banging on my sliding glass door. This sick fuck managed to climb into my balcony on the 3rd floor. "Come on, I know you want to meet him." His voice was piercing. I gathered up what courage I had and ran to my living room, gun raised. "Leave me alone or I will shoot you." He saw the gun in my hand and proceeded to jump off my balcony. I run out after him and look over the railing, but he was nowhere to be seen. The next morning, I looked at my front door and there were claw marks gouged out at about head height from that night, and the hole that he made in the sand trap was filled in. I don't know who he was or why he was trying to kill me, but I hope I never see him again. I no longer take walks at night or leave without my handgun. Story number 2. This is all I know as of now. I've worked at the same job for 5 years. I honestly don't do anything cool for work. In fact, I probably have the most boring job ever. I am the guy you see when you check into hotels. You know, the guy who is most likely asleep when you walk through the door. The one with the emo hair, blue eyes, and the painfully dull uniform. Yeah, that's me. I work at this hotel. We're going to call it Crystal Hotel for my empty wallet's sake. Anyways, me and the person I share the check-in desk with, we'll call him Mikey, a stereotypical jock, closet gay, have this game where we try to guess what people are staying over for. A current theme is, we're fuming the house, which usually means I'm here looking for a cheap prostitute. We usually go on Craigslist after we guess to see if there's any meet me at the Crystal Hotel for a good time type things. Well, one night, a lonely looking old man with a large bag walked through the doors. His bag was wine red and looked like a hassle to carry. "Good afternoon, sir. How may I help you?" I asked. "Need a room," he grumbled. I nodded. "Any preferences? Smoking? Non-smoking?" I questioned. "Just get me a damn room," he said. I just nodded again and settled the rest. He paid in cash. Mikey looked at his oversized bag. "Need help with that, sir?" He reached for the bag. The man screamed, "Get away from my bag!" Me and Mikey both jump. My partner backed away. "So sorry," Mike stuttered, fear in his voice. The man grumbled and walked towards his room. "Did you see his bag?" he asked quietly. "Probably here to hide all the drugs in it." I laughed. Mikey looked dead-assed at me. "I'm serious, Alex," he said. "It was stained." "So?" I asked. "What's so bad about a little stain?" Mikey shook his head. "Not just a little stain," he whispered. His bag was white. All that red was the stain. I felt my eyes go wide and I tried to shake the thought out of my head. "I'm sure it's nothing," I replied, lying to myself. We can't just assume that something is blood just because it's red. Mike looked at me. I looked at him. Somebody screamed. I dialed the cops. When they arrived at the weird guy's room, they found the man with slit wrists, as well as a half-rotten, eaten female corpse, and another dismembered male that was later identified as the hotel's cleaning man. Mikey is in some serious therapy, and I think I may want to quit, as in the man's bag, they also found a note with my name on it, where I work, and instructions on how to kill me. I'll keep you updated. Story number 3. I had something very scary happen today. A little background though. Before today, I've had feelings and stuff come and go about possible supernatural things, but I've always wanted to see something more definitive. The most I've experienced before today was when I was driving home from a friend's house after talking about entities behind his apartment. There have been sounds and sightings of shadow entities, the clearest thing being described as large and dog-like in shape. Their dogs have interacted with something too. That night, when driving home, I felt light cold chills and the like. All that was nothing compared to tonight though. While hanging out in the backyard after 3 a.m., we decide to go to the woods to the edge of the yard where a neighbor burns sage for safety from supernatural entities. We then proceed to whistle and clap, looking for signs of something. A few minutes go by like this, and then I hear something move. Now, I don't immediately think much of this until someone else hears it from somewhere else. All 4 of us then, at the same time, get this intense chill up our backs, and we turn and leave back to the apartment. After a few hours, it's time to go home, so I go to leave. To drive back, we have to drive by the same area where we felt the thing before. So we leave, and a few seconds after getting on the road, I see a large black shape on the side of the road by the woods. It was probably about 9 to 10 feet high. It was dark out, and I was tired, so I didn't think much of it immediately. Just a shadow on the tree line, right? Then my sister next to me says, "Watch out." And we both immediately get this intense chill, and the shape moves at us, along with this feeling that we are in danger. I have never felt like that before. I took off as fast as my car could go and get out of there, but we could feel it following us for a while. I don't think I'll drive on that road again at night.